Destructive typhoons and deadly catastrophes, mysterious mishaps, terrorist attacks, global climate threats, and world economic efforts. These are just some of the stories which have unfolded in the year 2015. Before we welcome yet another year, let us take a look back at these stories as our reporters gather this year's highlights in GNN's special report, The Recap 2015. In the year 2015, the country has experienced a roller coaster journey, from natural calamities to the visit of world leaders and approval of landmark bills. The Philippines has indeed witnessed variegated stories from all aspects of the nation. Let us watch Rosa de la Cruz's report on the milestones and mishaps the country has experienced with this story.
The Philippines has experienced an up and down journey in the year 2015. World leaders visited, tragedies and controversial issues arose, a fellow countryman was saved from persecution, and several landmark bills were approved by the government. The Department of Tourism has declared 2015 as the Visit the Philippines year, wherein it has unveiled fresh reasons to have more fun in the Philippines this year. The campaign banners 5 themes, namely business meetings, history and culture, lifestyle and entertainment, music and the arts, and sports, adventure, and ecotourism. At the start of the year, Pope Francis, the highest leader of the Catholic Church and the leader of Vatican, has conducted his apostolic visit in the country. The visit, which was held from January 15 to 19, has the theme of mercy and compassion, which primarily aimed to comfort Filipinos devastated by the typhoon and the earthquake that hit the Visayas in the previous year. Thousands of Filipino people flocked to the papal visit venues and felt the blessing of God through the pontiff. In February, the first Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Senior Officials Meetings, or APEC SOM 1, took place. This is where delegates from different member economies arrived in the Philippines to talk about different issues concerning the whole Asia-Pacific region. On February 26 to 27, French President François Hollande, who was the first incumbent French president to visit the country since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1947, stayed in the country and expanded and strengthened bilateral ties between France and the Philippines, as well as highlighted the Philippines as a partner in the fight against climate change. Meanwhile, 2 months before 2015 ends, the APEC summit, which was attended by different leaders and delegates of member economies, was held in different venues in Manila. President Benigno Aquino III lauded the successful and peaceful end of the summit, as it has discussed critical regional and global issues the region has faced as one. According to Aquino, if the past APEC meetings were highly technical discussions on trade issues, the discussions over the past couple of days have taken a broader approach. The image of the country for 2015 has been tainted with negativity, as it made a news that reached different parts of the world, which are because of the different issues and controversies it has faced. A week after the papal visit in the Philippines, 3 platoons of the Elite Special Action Force or SAF Police Squad entered the guerrilla enclave of Tucanalipao in Mindanao with the goal of detaining 2 high-ranking Jemaah Islamiyah affiliated improvised explosive device experts named as Zulkifli Binhir, known as Marwan, and Abdul Basit Usman. The SAF troops raided the hut where they believed Marwan was located, but the man they believed to be one of the fugitives engaged them in a firefight which alerted the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters or BIFF and Moro Islamic Liberation Front or MILF 118 command in the area. By 6:18 in the morning of January 25, a text message was sent by the commander of SAF 61D Battalion to SAF Director Getulio Napeñas that they were pinned down and were left with 44 SAF personnel, 18 MILF, and 5 BIFF dead. After the incident, top officials of AFP and PNP have been in a blame game due to miscommunication and miscoordination. The incident prompted former PNP Chief Alan Purisima to resign from post, with PNP Deputy Director General Leonardo Espina taking over the post. On September 30, 2015, the Justice Department released its second report on the incident. Before the end of the year, the DOJ vowed to proceed with the resolution of direct assault with murder and theft cases against 84 of the 90 individuals implicated in the clash. Despite the removal of the world's worst airport title from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA, airport authorities have been placed under fire for the recent cases of alleged bullet planting incidents targeting passengers. For months, several passengers have complained about airport personnel allegedly planting bullets inside their luggages in an attempt to frame them and extort money. The Office for Transportation Security or OTS has denied the extortion issue several times. Until on December 10, the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI has confirmed the existence of the incident. 6 personnel were charged connected to the NBI conclusion. The whole country has been in state of shock when Filipino drug convict Mary Jane Veloso was granted with temporary reprieve. Veloso was arrested at Yogyakarta Airport in Indonesia in 2010 when a heroin wrapped in aluminum foil was seen into the sides of her suitcase. Veloso maintained her innocence throughout as her case gained international attention over claims she unwittingly became a victim of illegal drug trafficking. Despite the different developments the popular Bangsamoro Basic Law or BBL has undergone this year, the measure remains pending. In May, the House of Representatives panel deliberated on the BBL provisions line by line and further approved on the committee level. However, the measure remained pending until the end of the year, and the legislative bodies will have to discuss on the bill again as the session resumes in January. Meanwhile, 66 out of 148 bills were passed into law by the Senate in 2015. Among these include those aimed at increasing the take-home pay of Filipinos, like the Republic Act 1065-3 or the 82,000 peso tax exemption cap for 13th month pay and other benefits, and the joint resolution that increases the daily subsistence allowance of all enlisted and uniformed personnel. Moreover, this December, the 3.002 trillion peso 2016 national budget has also been passed on time. 2015 has been a roller coaster ride for the Philippines. But what is more important is that through these events, the resilience, faith, love, and hope of the Filipinos were tested to be able to start a new year with a new life. For the Recap 2015, Rosan de la Cruz.
What are your thoughts, Charlie and Honey?
Well, a lot of people have been saying that natural disasters will be stronger and worse compared to the ones that we've had in the previous years. So I think the best thing we can do is prepare well for it, and it would help that schools can educate students on what to do if ever natural disasters happen. And I think also that government officials should use the funds properly to distribute the money to different locations and provinces. Yes. Actually, marami na talaga nawawalan ng pag-asa. Kaya maganda nga nung dumating si Pope Francis dito sa Pilipinas, maraming nabigyan ng bagong pag-asa at marami ang na-inspire na magtulungan muli dahil anuman ang kalamidad na dumating sa Pilipinas, patuloy pa rin natin itong malalagpasan.
Speaking of the happenings in the nation, the business and economy in the country also play a big role in the status of our society. It can be noted that the Philippines has long been struggling to be at par with other nations in terms of economic growth. On the other hand, according to the data given by the government, the country's economy has seemingly reached an upward trend during the administration of President Benigno Aquino III. Let us find out what the country has so far achieved with Jeline Surit's round of report on the country's business and economy.
Experts say that within the term of President Benigno Aquino III, the country's gross domestic product or GDP, or the monetary value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's borders in a specific time period, has almost consistently maintained an upward trend. This economic escalation in the country has attracted worldwide investor interest. Meanwhile, the country's hosting of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC is expected to boost more the Philippines' economic growth. The first time the country hosted the APEC was in 1996 during the time of former President Fidel V. Ramos. And according to the World Bank, the Philippine economy is thrice larger now compared to the first time it hosted in 1996. In an interview, APEC Business Advisory Council or ABAC Philippines alternate member and National Competitiveness Council co-chairman Guillermo Luz said, over the last years, the Philippines has been the darling of investments. Moreover, Luz noted that the country's growth attracts first-timers to visit the country and look for opportunities and investments. APEC 2015, with the theme Building Inclusive Economies, Building a Better World, has pushed for inclusive growth. One, by empowering micro, small, and medium enterprises or MSMEs. This year's APEC is said to have set a tone for inclusive growth, wherein an average entrepreneur will have the confidence to compete in a bigger market than its local boundaries. Meantime, a notable project that is being pursued by Aquino to boost the economy is a PPP, or the Public-Private Partnership, or a contractual agreement between the government and a private firm targeted towards financing, designing, implementing, and operating infrastructure facilities and services that were traditionally provided by the public sector. PPP embodies optimal risk allocation between the parties, minimizing cost while realizing project developmental objectives. PPP offers monetary and non-monetary advantages for the public sector and addresses the limited funding resources for local infrastructure or development projects of the public sector. Thus, it allows the allocation of public funds for other local priorities. At the moment, up to 300 billion pesos or $6.43 billion PPP projects are under PPP. According to the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH, as of September, 3 infrastructure projects were already completed and an expressway dike deal is being implemented at the expense of PPP. The DPWH has meantime awarded 3 PPP projects to the 2.01 billion peso Muntinlupa Cavite Expressway project, 15.86 billion peso NAIA Expressway Phase 2 project, and the 55.51 billion peso CALEX project. So far, the government has been getting the nod of many investors because of the significant improvements of the country's economy. However, not everyone is satisfied with the efforts of the government to improve the country's economic status. But as the end of Aquino's term draws near, the administration is expecting that the next president would be able to continue the projects it has already started that made a boost to the country's business and economy. For the Recap 2015, Jeline Sulit.
What can you say, Honey and Eunice, because I know that you both do business news also. Do you agree that the administration of President Aquino was really able to improve the economic status of the country?
Yes, Rich, the country's economy has really improved under Aquino's regime. And this was challenged, particularly when the APEC summit was held in the Philippines. This was challenged to build resilient communities and to become more stable, and especially to invest to the human capital development. Alam naman natin na ang mga Pilipino talaga ang mga nagtataguyod ng mga businesses na to, mapamaliit man ito or malaki. Ito dapat at talaga ang tinututukan. Ika nga ng mga businessman natin, talagang masaya sila sa nakaraang APEC dahil na-affirm yung mga pinaniniwalaan na nila na dapat mag-focus talaga tayo sa mga maliliit na enterprises na to.
That's true.
And you mentioned about micro, small, and medium enterprises. Napakaganda kasi na-discuss doon sa summit na yon na kailangan talagang i-foster yon to achieve inclusive growth. And because 99% ng enterprises dito sa country natin ay micro, small, and medium enterprises,
Yes.
tong maliliit na mga manggagawa at mga businessmen. So, kailangan i-foster yon. And to add to that, pati yung technical vocational sector ay kailangan din natin i-foster dahil
That's right.
kailangan talaga yung skills development more than the bachelor's degree dahil ang ating economy ngayon ay papunta na dun sa advent of technology, talagang dun na siya sumusunod. So, we need to foster the technical vocational sector as well.
That's right. We will pause for a station gap, and when we return, we will give more highlights on politics and world news. Stay tuned.